Okay. Hello and welcome back to Galactic Goddess Podcast. I'm your host, Radhaa. And today we are going to be talking about DNA repair and gold. For any of you that have taken any DNA altering substances, you might want to tune in because our very special guest, Stasia Bliss, is a best-selling author and she is a life force management expert and she is a brilliant woman. So welcome, Stasia.
Thank you, Radha. So honored to be here today.
So wonderful to come together for a higher purpose. And I'm really excited about what we're talking about, which is Ormus.
Yes, I am excited too. It's such a timely, the subject came up for me years ago, back in 2013, and this information just resurfaced again to remind me at this very potent time that this substance is actually number one necessary at our time right now for DNA repair.
Wow, that's just it's incredible because I've recently come on to, oops, I don't know if you can see it. This is the one I have.
Nice.
Cyan gold Ormus, but come on to this maybe this year. You know, I never took it before. And I actually used it in my yoga teacher training because I was not like a yogi, limber yogi. And I took it every day. I bought it in Costa Rica. And let me tell you, I think it's pretty much saved my life.
Yeah, that's amazing. Awesome.
Yeah. So it does give you energy. And, you know, Stasia is quite prolific when it comes to nutrition, understanding herbs and medicine, plant medicine, and how we can utilize these elemental forces to enhance us in many ways. And Ormus is one of those things that you just don't hear about unless you hear it from a friend. So, friend, will you tell us more about Ormus?
Yeah, so actually Albert Einstein first discovered in the 20s. Of course, this is early in our time, but it goes all the way back to biblical times and Egyptian times. But in our most recent time, Albert Einstein and then David Hudson in the 60s rediscovered it again. And what they found is that these molecules are orbitally rearranged. The Ormus stands for orbitally rearranged molecules of unusual size. They're also called orms. They're called monatomic elements. They're called white gold powder. And basically, they're in the form that is pre-metal. So they're different. They're not on our normal periodic table. It's basically before an element reaches its metal state. So pre-gold or pre-silver or pre-platinum. And there's a whole body of these elements. And what's happening, and this is David Hudson's description, is it's like there are two molecules in this dimension and one molecule in another dimension. And so it's like you've got a chair with three legs in this reality and one leg in another dimension. And it like connects us to a different part of us. And they found that if these elements are added to like soil or your flowers, your cut flowers, that the flowers will keep growing even if they've been cut, because what these are is they're life-giving. They cause us to grow upward, to grow toward life, to move in the direction of and life force, life enhancement. It's very much in alignment with my work. It's like we have to be tuned into life force, and we can access that in a lot of ways, right? Through yoga, we can access it through breathing, through moving energy through the chakras, through meditation. But taking this substance, which comes either in a powder form, like Harmonic Enterprises offers like a powder form, or a lot of companies have a liquid form, like you have a liquid form. And what it does is you might not notice right away, but over a couple of days, it saturates our tissues. And we're actually supposed to have like 90% of our tissues saturated with Ormus, but because of depletion of our soil, of our water, we just don't have it. Whether that's by design or not, the truth is we have to get it, and we have to reintroduce it to ourselves. And when we do this, it's like we realign with life. And the substance actually is so cool because it doesn't go in and like necessarily heal things or change things in the body. It just comes in and models life. It just brings in spirit, brings in consciousness. It's actually also called consciousness elements, because it's coming in and it's reminding you your DNA of what it is supposed to be, how it is supposed to behave, and then your body corrects itself in the presence of these molecules. So it's so cool.
Wow, what a great explanation. I've never heard anything like that, because I've Googled and looked up a lot, just to try to find more. I knew that it was magical. It feels like it has spirit, spirit and matter in one. But I have to tell you, like when I first tried it, I was like, what is this? What is this? It's
Yeah.
the substance, the taste, it's you know.
I know it's strange. I did a lot of research too. I wrote some articles for the Guardian Liberty Voice back in 2013. So I still have a couple of articles on guardianlv.com. And then a lot of people republished that article. So you can find it on a lot of different sites. Esotericawakening.com has one of those articles republished, but it has some different sources you can read. And actually, David Avocado Wolf talks about it in one of his live podcasts. He talks about Ormus. He has a cool 1 hour show about that. But yeah, there's not a whole lot of information out there about it. But I think at this time, it's so important when we have taken any DNA altering substance, or just simply altering our own DNA through negative self-talk, because like 95% of our DNA is voice activated, actually. So when we talk to ourselves verbally or in our minds, we are programming our DNA. And so these substances, when taken with positive intent, and that's a really important part about taking this substance, is to take it with the idea that you are bringing yourself back into alignment with your truth, that these substances actually work with your intention to help you manifest.
I love that. Well, it makes so much sense. Spirit and matter coming together in physical form. And then when you consume it, you want to consume it with your intention so that it can blossom and bloom within you. And, we live in a world that's so depleted emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually. And, even I've been on this protocol of getting more minerals and certain vitamins because, I get organic food. I try to eat the very best, but that being said, it doesn't really matter when the soil is completely depleted, right? And so you're not getting those nutrients. And how, even if you're getting top shelf food, you're still not getting really top shelf food. You're getting secondary, because the way that they grow these foods, even if they're organic, like the tomatoes, and it's cool what they do with the hydroponics, but they're still like in this very sterile kind of environment that doesn't offer the nutrients. I kind of think of it as like a clone. Like a clone is not going to be as good as the original.
Yeah.
And you're not going to get the same DNA or, value. The degradation is pretty significant on something like that. And I feel that whether it be for human or for food, that we've degraded so very much from our truest, highest purpose, essence, spirit, and nutrition is very hard to come by. So we often, I think if everyone got tested on their nutrients, they would find that they were severely depleted in so many areas. So this kind of boosts you right back into place. At least I think it has a lot of minerals, that the minerals are important, right?
Right. Well, the cool thing about this substance too is you were speaking about hydroponic, and part of why that maybe doesn't feel totally right is because it's not in its natural organic environment, right? It's not like growing with all of its harmonious elements. And why I've always thought, a whole herb is better than like an isolate, or, like a whole food substance is better than an extract, because there's a whole bunch of different elements in there that support the purpose of that plant. And when you just isolate it, you are leaving yourself open to possible side effects, right? From things that were there to protect. And so the cool thing about Ormus, in my perception, is it's the spiritual food. It's actually like the consciousness around nutrition. So it's bringing that awareness back, because honestly, we don't just get nutrition from our food, we get it from everything in our life, or we don't get it, right? We either get it from our surroundings, from the people we're with, the music we're listening to, the thoughts we have, the clothing we're wearing, our attitude, or we're missing it. And so even if, I've known someone to eat like completely the highest grade food, but poison themselves continuously in their thoughts and in their judgments, that I've seen people kill themselves that way, like literally, like going, why they ate so great, but they still didn't make it. Why? And so this substance is important because we're so disconnected. A lot of people are disconnected and aren't able to really feel all the nutrition that they need, like feel nurtured, right? Like it's the nurturing, nutrition is nurture. So to really give us that soul nutrition is bringing consciousness back to our life and awakening ourselves to like what is the true need that you have right now, so you can be in tune with that and you can give that to yourself.
I love that. I love the holistic part of it. The garden. It's like the garden, everything, the environment. It's the sun. It's the energy around. It's the fresh air. It's a holistic thing. Like we try to fragmentize ourselves in so many ways when we like, oh, I'll eat really good, but I'm going to be really stressed out and not take care of myself, not nourish myself. That's kind of like a self-punishment, and then we don't really give ourselves a full availability to feel. I think feel, heal, all of it. And I do think that the Ormus really awakens, I feel like it awakens the heart chakra too, because the heart, all of our hearts have been, hammered on a little bit collectively. And so we get, it's easy to get jaded, and that, supplements like this can really help us to feel more grounded in the body. We have so many things to disassociate with, and it's very distracting time on earth and online.
Yeah, definitely.
Where
And some very rare elements are found in Ormus, like rhodium and iridium. And those elements are actually, they activate other dormant areas of the brain that you can't get that anywhere else, right? Like, so those are important consciousness minerals, right? That help us turn on brain functions that you're not going to get by eating anything else, only something with these elements in them. So they are part of the evolution of our consciousness, and those who are ready to advance themselves into knowing more and embodying more are going to be attracted to them and hear messages like this. And even if you have like made a choice that brought some DNA damage, any choice, there's a lot of things out there that can damage DNA. So anything that you may have done, if you get your hands on some of this stuff and start remineralizing, bringing in life force consciousness elements into your body, you have the tools necessary to correct. All is not lost. You can, bring that back together and allow your spirit to work with these elements and bring correction. So I find that very soothing and very kind of the universe and of the earth to provide such elements.
That's so nice to hear. Now we can get some people to take it.
That's the trick, right? And there's lots of good brands out there too. Of course there's some imposters, and I'd say use some discernment. The one you have looks lovely. I know Blue Emerald Alchemy is a really great site. They have like 4 layers of Ormus. So you start with the origin, and it's just going and helping correct at a deeper level, and then you go up 4 different formulas. I really like also Harmonic Enterprises. They have several different, they have a black Ormus that is detoxifying. They have a red that connects to your heart and mind. They have a pink that opens the heart. And then they have the regular gold powder that is just like consciousness. They've shown people taking Ormus for a period of time, the brain waves go into alpha, just like if you've been meditating for a long time or practicing martial arts. So there is really a healing state that is recorded from utilizing these elements, and that's where we find that repair can happen.
Ooh, I'm loving the sound of this. I'm gonna be Like, I didn't know they came in so many colors. Like this one is white and it's very creamy and kind of salty. And yeah, I mean, a lot of people have said like, oh, this is pretty horrific. I've given a couple bottles away, and I just say like, I literally take my bottle. That's probably why it's got little stains on it, but I take it and I just like put some under my tongue, and I kind of just measure with my intuition, and then I just hold it for as long as I can, so I can get the most nutritional value, because it starts to seep in better that way.
And it is good to start with a small amount and just build up and get to a point where you're filling. And I also recommend intuitively using it. So I think that's perfect, because your body will know, and you actually will get like a saturation point.
Oh, okay.
For me, like when I first started taking it, I was like not noticing. And then one day I just like, bing, I was like, I even said saturated. And like saturated doesn't mean you don't need it anymore. It means you finally reached the amount that you should be having regularly. And now you're like, whoa, I'm making connections in my brain and in my body, like that feels normal, but I've just never really accessed it like this before. So it just feels like your faculties are completely engaged, which is a really nice feeling when you haven't been having that and then you do. But it's not like it's this miraculous thing, even though the Ormus elements themselves do show like quantum activity, like they levitate, they bilocate, they do like funky things, which I think like eventually we also will be able to do. But at first it's just like, first just be human to the degree that you actually can be, and then you can go from there, like reach your capacity, right? And then go forward from there.
It's so funny. That makes me laugh so hard, because first we haven't even fully embodied being human. Like that, I really, really feel that. I know that to be true, that we haven't reached our potential in any way, shape, or form, but we're working on it.
We're here to do it though.
We're here to do it. So part of it just makes me laugh, because it's funny. Everybody wants to get to the next step, but they haven't actualized this step yet. Like, let's see what it's like.
It's funny. I had someone message me. Oh, I was listening to someone and they were talking about we don't even have chakras, and I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Like, yes, that's true at a really advanced level, but you're not going to get there from like not even embracing the lower level principles. Like we have to go step by step. Like you don't go from first grade math to trigonometry. Like you got to go step by step. So this is just helping us like really like put all the pieces together, to embody our full divine human, so we can take on the next level of information.
So exciting. I'm so grateful that there are these miraculous little like things that just zing your life up to the next level, because there are miracles when you need them. Despite what anyone says, I do believe in miracles, and if you ask, you shall receive. You really shall. And
and I believe in the universal principles that every reaction has an equal and opposite reaction. So if something's gone really awry in this direction, there always is the counter medicine, right? There's always something to balance that out. So I've seen that this is one of those substances that is called for at this time, when we're seeing, a lot of DNA alteration.
Writing, recoding. It's so it's interesting, because like you do a lot of DNA work, I do a DNA work, DNA activations, so we do it with our commands. Like we command that to come online, and the commands are so powerful. But I think it's just so much more powerful when we have foundational tools and supplements that are grounded with earth matters, spirit. We want to create that holistic balance, as you said earlier, that we don't want to just rely on one aspect, and just go so far on that aspect. We want to also find the ways to keep the body anchored And we're here now, so let's be here. You know, I know all my star seeds and all my light work. Like, I'm ready to ascend. And I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
me too. But in the meantime, let's be here because we came here for a reason, not a season. We were planted deep into, you know, the darkness of these times, but we are the light. So
Yeah. Yeah.
bringing
Yeah.
and
Yes, and the verbal commands are excellent. And then when you couple them with a substance that supports those commands, then you have an even more potent formula to hold that intention, right? Because the old intentions, they want to climb back in. So anything we can do to support that new reality that we're creating and that divine truth in our DNA to be expressed is good. And we need all the help we can get right now.
I so agree. What do you so as far as the DNA repair goes, do you feel that energetically this, so you're saying that it sort of mirrors back the DNA lost its sort of potency, so to speak, or its integrity is the word, but
Or it
it
may have been given like a faulty command that's now replicating. So a different command was given that the DNA is replicating, or the messenger RNA is replicating. And so this substance, the ormus, comes in, and it literally is like almost like a mentor. I think of it like coming in next to the DNA that is like, oh no, this is what my teacher taught me, and it's doing this thing. And the ormus comes in and is just like radiating, no, like this, and just radiates life force, radiates life energy, like upward flowing, like life-giving energy in the presence of your DNA. And your DNA can't help but copy that, because that is the truth of who you are, this life force energy. So then the DNA corrects, and the immune functions look at that and start like doing the right thing. So it's like having a really good teacher in there, just like vibing with you nonstop, you know. And so it's great to have a guide, it's great to have someone to help you out, but to have that inner substance, that inner guide, is just like being in constant prayer and constant meditation with that correction. You know, because meditation can also help us correct DNA, but we have to like hang out there, right? We have to be in there and be in that work constantly. So the ormus just gives that support so that we can do the other things in our life that we need to, and have this correction faculty taking place.
so exciting. I hope this offers hope to people that feel, you know, like
I do too.
right. And you know, it's just, you know, without going into it here, it's been tough, right? It's been tough. And yeah, no judgment, right? No judgment. We're here to help support each other, and that's why we are doing this, out of pure love and support, not out of judgment of any kind. So with that being said, is there anything else you'd like to say about the commands or
The only thing I would like to mention is some people might be kind of wondering, oh, what things alter your DNA, and just some examples like radiation is something that can alter your DNA. So if you've been exposed to a good deal of radiation, and I mean, even just we all are on a regular basis right now. So it's helpful for all of us to have that sort of assistance. So that can be EMFs, or that can be, you know, just basic, or it can be like more intensive exposure, or other foreign objects that we've allowed to come into our body. And again, like just negative mind talk, or listening to negative opinions, other people's judgments on us can affect our DNA negatively. Pollutants, you know, airborne and waterborne pollutants can generate free radicals that can, you know, be harmful as well. So, you know, anything that is along any of those lines, on any level, it's just wonderful to have something that can come in and be a soothing support and upgrade, if you will, to the system.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Now, can you tell us a little bit about where ormus comes from? Like, where is it actually harvested, or how does it come? Like, in what form does it come in? Because it's this creamy
Yeah.
white substance.
Well, so normally one can learn to trap it in spring water. So spring water is the most common place that one would harvest or trap it, or an alchemist can do this in the laboratory. And again, like incineration of gold will take it back to its pre-metal state. Again, back to the Mount Sinai theory, where they found white gold powder in Mount Sinai incinerators. So there's several different ways, but the more recent common place would be to learn how to trap it, because actually some of the molecules from Ormus levitate. They actually are lighter in weight, so it's like a magnetic sort of process at the, like at a spring hole, where you set up this whole like magnetic thing. I can go into all the details right here, but the levitating molecules will be like attracted to the magnet, and there's a process of harvesting it from spring water. And that's one reason why spring water is so awesome, is because it does usually contain high quantities of Ormus. So that's one way. Yeah.
It's really tough though, because nowadays, we have the pollutants in the spring water. It's like, it just seems to be seeping everywhere.
Yeah.
So, wow, it's tough. I feel really bad for the animals, because their natural supply is being depleted. That's where they get their minerals, their natural minerals from. And
Yeah.
it's really rough out here. There's a lot of animals that have been coming by the house, like deers, lots of deers, and even the little bear, black bear that keeps coming by, and I put out little
Oh,
treats for it, because it's really hungry, and there's just seems to be a depletion in the environment. So I always say, like, if you can support animals in your area, please do.
yeah.
Like, put out water for them, clean water, put out, I know this is contrary to what most people say, but put out little helpful food, because most of
Mhm.
their resources have been gathered and taken.
Mhm.
They've been stripped of their sacred environment and the way that they've been able to cope. And so I really feel very compassionate for the
Mhm.
wildlife, and how much they have their existence has degraded because of our existence. And here we are, we can go in Amazon and buy some Ormus, but what can they do?
Sure,
They're
sure.
getting the radiation, and et cetera, et cetera.
Well, I do believe, I mean, we're all on this ride together, this evolutionary journey together, and that, nothing's ever created or destroyed. It's just going to change forms. So look at, like, if that is true, and of course that is true in our perception, is certain things are being lost from one area, but then where are they showing up? And I know that I've been noticing, particularly, like, animals consciousness are definitely evolving. I think that they're moving up their chakra system and starting to become aware of higher level of understanding than maybe they previously were. So just like on our evolutionary journey, eventually we're able just to draw this nutrition that we need right from source, like right from light, right from, our breath. And we're on a journey of remembering how to do that. And each of these things are steps along the way. And so as we do that, then we have to also trust that nature is also getting guidance and support on this. And of course, we're part of that. Like you said, we're part of that chain of assistance for them. But there's probably a lot of things we don't know, that we're unaware of, that are becoming accessible to them as well. There's lots of other kingdoms out there, even like the mushroom kingdom and so forth, that offers itself up to the animal realm and the other realms as necessary to provide support to their consciousness and how they can track down the elements that they need. At least that's my understanding. I feel like that we're in a very wise system, even though there's a lot of nefarious forces. I always believe that there's an equal and opposite to all of that. And so we just open our awareness to that and acknowledge it, because our consciousness really does matter. Like, what we're thinking about and acknowledging brings that into our experience more and more. And then we experience the most beautiful reality that we can.
That's right. Tune into that. I know, but I still feel for them, and I'm always going to put water out for them,
Oh,
because
yeah.
I feel
definitely.
like, we should do what we can when
Yeah, for
we can.
sure.
We don't have to just leave it to all to the divine, because we are the divine, you know?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, no, I mean, don't ignore them for sure, but
Yeah,
also like have faith that your promptings are correct and that also something else
yeah.
is happening. Just a quick story on that. I mean, I transitioned my black cat from Arizona all the way across the country to Virginia where I am, and he was a like really awesome indoor outdoor cat, and here he's having to spend a lot more time outside because the house I'm in has some allergies, and I knew that was true before I came here. And so I've been watching him, and like my mama bear instinct is like, oh, he's just this precious soft fluffy cat and I got to take care of him, but I'm actually watching him kind of rewild as we're in the backdrop of a forest here, and he's like going into the forest where he was always in the desert, and he's like learning new things, and he like his nature is transforming before my eyes, and I'm just like, whoa, you're getting like this wildish part of you, and it's reflecting back to me like what we get when we awaken to some new understanding of a wildish part of us, something that innately knows things. And of course he's still like lovey and loves to curl up on me and everything, but it's like he knows something else, like he's he's awakened to something else, and it's very representative to me to what's going on all around us, anyone who's aware, and especially the animals, because they are like immersed in this nature that's teaching us, that's evolving us, it's helping to activate us. And it seems like I'm just watching the animals all around just surprise me with how their consciousness is so much different, so much heightened.
True. I have to tell you about this little bear, because I saw this bear on the highway. Yeah, I saw it in the periphery of my eye and I stopped. I don't know. There was like 4 lanes and the bear ran in front of me. And
Wow.
then I was going down by the river, a completely different area. And
Mm.
there I saw the bear again
Oh my
to
goodness.
my left side and running. I saw it. So I just stopped the moment I saw it. And of course, I think he's a he. I just don't know why, but I call him a he. He ran across again. And then I was like, wow, well, he could never come up here because this is so far away from that place, And I felt that he didn't have a mother. So I
Mm.
was really, thinking about him and
Oh.
his circumstances, and wishing I could be supportive in some way. Not that I'd go up and hug it, but lo behold, there's the bear in my yard,
Oh,
and I
wow.
scope and I had put some apples out for the deer, and it literally, I was like, this is so uncanny. This bear is tracking me,
Oh, wow. Yeah.
baby bear. And so
Oh,
there is something, I felt this like kind of psychic connection with this beautiful,
yeah.
beautiful being. And so,
Oh,
yeah,
beautiful.
there is a heightened awareness. Animals are so intelligent, and
Yeah,
I feel that we could look to them a lot for
definitely.
how to be. So yeah,
Oh, it's
quite
beautiful.
amazing.
Oh, thank you for sharing. That's so
Yeah.
sweet.
Just the other day, I have to send you a picture because it is
Oh,
the cutest, and he moves so fast, and he's so
oh,
kind of chubby. He loved the apples. I think he was the one taking the apples.
oh, yeah.
Like,
Oh,
how did he
that's so
know?
cute.
Because there's mountains and mountains and mountains, and when I go, it's quite a long ways back from,
Mm.
any kind of major highways. So I was
Like
like,
he feels you like the mama bear. Oh,
like, oh my gosh, I love him. I hope to see him again. I'm sure I
oh,
will.
so
But
sweet.
yeah, it's
Mm,
amazing, those connections. So, and now you're in
beautiful.
Virginia,
I am. I
so
am.
both in the wild.
Yes. There's so much nature around here. Surrounded by forest all over, and
Oh,
it's. I was used to seeing in Arizona just flat, flat, and now I can't see anything. I'm like in a forest everywhere I go, so it's very different,
yeah.
very different feeling, but it's very alive and very nurturing to the skin, hair. Just my soul is feeling happy to be here in the forest. So
This is all around you.
I'm sure.
Thank you so much. Would you like to, is there anything else that you'd like to share about the Ormus or the DNA aspect or?
Just if you want to check out those articles on guardianlv.com, you can just look up Ormus and Stasia Bliss. I have a couple of different articles that go into some of these details that might be helpful. And yeah, if you want to post the company that you got yours from, and then the Blue Emerald alchemy.com is really awesome source.
Absolutely. Yeah. And we're just sharing because we think it's really important to share this information. Sharing is caring. I'm not an affiliate or anything like that.
I'm not either. And if you know someone that this might benefit from, please pass this video along.
Yes, let's get healthy.
Spread the word.
Spread the word. Let's be healthy, happy, awakened, conscious. And thank you so much. You're such a wealth of information. And if you'd like it to, work with Stasia, I'll leave all of her information below. And you've been in, and by the way, P.S., you've been in a few of our books. Can you tell us which ones you've been in?
Oh, let's see. I'm in the first volume of the Awakening Starseed and the Energy Healers. Is that the only one? The second volume too.
That's right. Well, I'm hoping that you're going to be in the Goddess. I've been pestering you.
I know. Yeah, that sounds lovely too. I'm so honored to be in that work with you. I just love the work you're doing, Radha. Thank you so much for these beautiful messages you're sharing with the world. If you haven't read the books, please get them. I mean, just you've curated some amazing stories and beautiful people from all over. It's just been an honor to be associated with that.
Thank you. Yeah, we're really happy to have all the voices come together. Now is the time. We're a big star family on Earth, little star seeds, but it's time to gather our family and time to rise together. And we'll make it through because we have we have everything we need. We just have to get resourced with information like this and
remember.
Yeah, remember who you
are.
Thank you so
We're
much.
all part of the one body of the Starseed family, and we're remembering ourselves together. Yes.
Beautiful unfolding, rocky sometimes, but it's part of the ride. So until next time, loves, thank you so much for joining. And I wish you the most prosperity, health, happiness in all possible ways. And until next time, bye for now.